Going on the universal journey, dude, going on a universal journey would be insane. I'm trying to go on a UFO and universally travel, but anyway, the the spiritual journey, the source journey, the inner being, source being, consciousness journey is a call to action to stop putting a vote behind the things that don't align with you. That, in a sense, what I'm saying is that true change comes when you stop allowing the cycles, the wounds, the mass to perpetuate. And one thing that I was going through today that I wrote down in my Artist Way journal is pretty much external approval. And how it's coming up for me, the permission slip that I've been using the past 2 days in my deep meditations is acting like I'm an 80-year-old man that has nothing to prove. That I don't need to, the 80-year-old me is just living life for me. I'm not going out trying to reach this place to achieve something for this external validation, because what this realization led me to, that when you're trying to, personally for me, and this is kind of like perfectionism as well as external approval, and it leads to other things as well, insecurity, shame, and judgment, and inner child wounds. Also goes into a little bit of the video I talked about yesterday, that when you're trying to achieve something outside of yourself, you're actually avoiding the reason why you're doing that internally. When you're trying to win, be better, superior, or not feel less than, you're avoiding this wound, this illusion, this mask, this shadow, ultimately this inner child that wants to be loved for who they are, and you're coaxing it in this material degree, whatever, a house, a car, saying you clean the whole house or whatever. Like, that's not what's actually nurturing your soul. It's not what would make your 80-year-old self proud, because the disillusions have faded when you're at that age, right? The appeasing your friends, or binging a whole TV show. I'm not gonna lie, I do that sometimes. I did that with Outer Banks recently. I'm like, my ADHD self, I will definitely skip random parts that are just completely irrelevant and I know will be answered by the end of the episode. I'm just like, I do not care about this dialogue. I'm going to skip it. I did that with Stranger Things, this most recent Stranger Things season. I'm like, there is so much unnecessary talking in this. Like, I just want to know what happens. But anyway, sometimes that is a detriment, because you're like, wait, I don't know how I just reached this point in the show, but I guess we'll see what happens. But the same could be applied with, like, what you're putting your time, energy, and effort into in your life. And what is actually nurturing you versus what you're trying to achieve to be perfect at, or, externally loved and validated, rather than what's nurturing and filling your cup. What is doing that for me? And not feeling like I have to achieve all these things to say that I did them, to feel better about myself because of the things that I'm actually, holding on to, the story that I'm telling myself. So, yeah, that's kind of what I talked about, or went through and worked through today, is being an 80-year-old old man. Working through perfectionism. And ultimately, like, in this now, perfect as I am, but also the eternal being that I am, that I know that I am, and the spiritual journey, there's always more to become. So it's this balance of I am enough, but also I deserve more. And not weigh myself down in wanting more, and knowing that more is a beautiful thing that I'm co-creating in a loving, beautiful way, not in a heavy, judgmental, criticism, disappointing way.